If you're a skier, there's a chance that you've used or at least heard about FatMap and are aware of the unfortunate situation that took place this year where Strava bought FatMap and integrated those resources into its programming in such a way that FatMap effectively became useless. But what if I told you that there's a new resource that is filling the void that was left by FatMap, and that I'm currently working with them and building a new White Mountains and Green Mountains resource that is by far the best thing I've ever built and the most comprehensive resource for both of those regions? Well, today I'm about to show you Backtrack. Backtrack is effectively CalTopo on steroids. It's very similar to FatMap. There's a few key differences that I'll show you today. But overall, I think you're going to be really stoked on it as a resource. And I don't want to make this whole thing sound like an ad because I really do think this is cool, but if you subscribe to the pro version of Backtrack, I get 30% of subscriber revenue, so it's currently the best way to support the channel. I'm going to have a link to both of the maps that I'm working to develop in my comments. Click that link and you use code Ryan. You can get the discount. For now, before you go run off and buy it, let me convince you that it's worth your money. I'm about to switch you to my screen recording. I have no idea how this is going to work. I haven't done this on a Mac yet, so this is going to be a little interesting. Alright, so right now we are in Backtrack. So you can see right now we're in my White Mountains map, where I have all these lines coded in. All the stuff I skied from the Presidential Ski Project is here. If I click on any of these routes, you can see here's Baby Sister. It'll come up with a bunch of photos. It'll come up with a little description I wrote. And I've gone beyond the presidential range here. As you can see, I have arrow slide. Again, more photos, another description that I wrote. If I click here on info, it shows me all of the stats for this line, such as the elevation gain and loss, the max slope angle, the aspect. I'm going to show you guys how to make your own routes, and I'm going to show you all of the features in a second, but the first thing I'm going to do is just show you a little bit of navigation. So if I click on 3D here, I've now put the map in 3D mode. So let's zoom in a little bit so we can see that a little bit better. So now we have a little bit more texture. So let me go somewhere with a little more depth so you can see that. So yeah, if I click Control here and I spin around, I can pivot the map to see different aspects. I can see a lot more depth like this. This gives me more ability to view the terrain. But if you want to make your own map, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go back. You're going to click New Map, and we're going to plan a tour together here. So let's plan a tour for Lincoln's Throat. So first thing I'm going to do, I can even find Mount Lincoln. So now I've just used the search function to bring me right to Mount Lincoln, and it'll give me some information about it from Google here. I don't need that, but you can see there's Lincoln's Throat right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add Route, and then it'll give me a couple options here. If I click Hike or Bike, it'll automatically toggle to roads or trails, but I'm going to click None. And then first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to click a point. And as I'm clicking along my route here, I am creating my tour plan. I'm being a little sloppy with this right now because I want to make it efficient for video's sake. Ends right below the ice bulge. Now if I click enter, I've now created this route. So I'm going to name it. And I can edit it and move any of these points around. So yeah, I can add notes here. Down here, it's going to give me all of the information about this line, the different aspects, the max slope angle, the average slope angle, the elevation loss and gain. And then I can change the color of this line to whatever I want, so we're going to make it a nice shade of magenta here. And now for my base map, I can change this to streets, light, dark, and topo. I'm going to keep it in satellite just because I feel like that's the clearest image of the line that I'm going to get. And then if I want to learn more about my tour, we're going to start to add layers to this map. So the first layer here, I'm not going to toggle any of these. We have ski areas, backcountry ski, and open cycle. Those are pretty self-explanatory. But what's really important here is the terrain tools. So slope angle is the first one that I'm going to add. So here you can see it has this little chart explaining avalanche terrain and how it correlates to the colors on the map. So as we can see, I can also add aspect. So I'm going to turn slope angle off so you can see that more clearly. So this chart also tells you what each color correlates to. So blue is north, and then we have all of the other aspects of the compass rose. And I can highlight specific aspects if I want. So if I want to see everything from 63 degrees to 295 on the compass rose, it'll highlight that for me. So that allows you to see where specific avalanche problems maybe lie. I can also make it more opaque if I want to see the aspect, but I still want to be able to see the terrain. Now let's play with a couple other layers here. So then we have weather, so I can do snow depth. And this is from the NOAA data. I don't find this layer super useful, but if you're into this sort of thing, it works. I can also add these snow-tell stations. We don't have any of these in the Northeast, so I'm just going to go over to a different part of the US here. And then let's do add snow-tell stations. So as you can see out west, all of these pop up, and if I click on any of these, it'll give me the data from those snow-tell stations. And then I can also do active wildfires. So here we have all of these little icons that show where there's active wildfires, and it's updated as recently as 7 days ago. This one was updated 4 days ago. So again, not a great Northeast feature as we're continuously drenched in water, but if you're planning out west, this could be something that's useful for you if you don't want to get smoked out. Now let's go to avalanche. So I can add the avalanche forecast, and some of these don't display on the map. If I click them, it'll bring me to a link to the forecast. Some of them do, so you can see in the Jackson area we have the Tetons forecast displaying at moderate. I can also add avalanche observations. So this is a heat map. If I click on any of these, I can go to that observation and I can read it. And then I can also, this one is only available in Colorado, but I can add avalanche accidents. And these specific icons will show me where avalanche accidents have occurred. Now, for imagery, these are all pretty self-explanatory. These are different satellite imagery overlays you can use, but the one I really want to show you is mountain view. This is unlike anything I've ever seen before. So this feature is not available in the Northeast yet, but I'm really excited for when it will become available in the Northeast. So let's go over to this area near Crested Butte and click mountain view. This is about to blow your mind. So this is all drone imagery. This is a really cool planning feature, especially if you want to get more into gladed terrain and such, where maybe on a satellite map, especially one without winter data, you can't necessarily see how good terrain is from afar. Like, this would all look green on a map here, this little bowl here. Let's go look at a different area. So right now, this is available in Colorado, in Utah, and in Washington. There's some really cool ones in Washington. Let me show you. Yeah. So as you can see, this is essentially like Google Street View, but for mountains. And I can click any of these arrows and it'll toggle me closer to a couple of these areas. So yeah, you can see this is a really good feature for planning. Stuff like this, where I want to see into these pillow lines here. You can see it's so accurate that I can even see tracks through this terrain. Like right there, you can see a track. So these are all over the country, and this is just a really cool feature. And like I said, it's not in the Mount Washington Valley yet, but this is a feature that could come to us in the next couple years. And when it does, I'm going to be really excited. And then lastly, I'll show you one more thing. So this is cell coverage. So let's go back to the White Mountains right now. So let's go over to our tour on Lincoln's Throat. So I have T-Mobile, so we're going to use the T-Mobile overlay. And now you can see here's everywhere that I would get T-Mobile service. So nowhere on our Mount Lincoln tour do I get any service, but on the summit of Lafayette, near the summit of Lincoln, and other spots in Franconia Notch, I do get service. And this tracks because I've been in Franconia Notch and not been able to use my phone for anything other than pictures, but I've been up on Cannon Cliff and I've totally gotten text messages. So this data is super accurate. I'll show you over on Mount Washington too. Yeah, same thing. Once you get above the bowl here, pretty cool. This is super accurate. It even shows here the weird pocket of service that I get at the bottom of Castle Ravine. I'll never forget when my friend Jane called me on the phone and I was just so shocked that I had any service. And she did in fact call me to inform me that she received the 1,500 ladybugs that were very much alive that I sent her as a prank. It's $20 on Amazon if you ever want to send someone some ladybugs. This is the non-ski beta that you're getting from Ryan today. And the last thing I'll show you, I can only show you this on the mobile version, and this is another pro feature, but this is the sun exposure feature. CalTopo has this too. This is definitely the superior version of it. Yeah, so apologies if this is weird, because it's sideways. I have it set to 12 a.m. So if I just scroll across, see now we're starting to get sunrise. Now we're in full sun. Now it's starting to be the only terrain is on the right side of Tuckerman Ravine. And now we're in full shade again. But yeah, you can see that this sun exposure feature is really awesome. And because of this time toggle bar, you can use it in the field to know how much time left you're gonna have to get on something while it still has the sun. This is really useful for if you are in Tuckerman Ravine and you decide to tag the summit and then wanna make sure that you can make it back to the bowl before your line loses sun and then ices up, because I know a couple people that's happened to, and that's super annoying. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoy the resources that I've put together for the White Mountains and the Green Mountains. I hope that you guys really think Backtrack is cool after watching this video and want to download it and get started on it. And remember, if you subscribe to the pro version, use code Ryan for that 30% discount, and you will be helping support me and this channel and everything I do over here, so I can keep doing rad stuff and making cool maps for y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.